My name is Saifullah, and today I'm going to be talking about the aspects of our urban society from the 21st century compared to the 20th century. The environment has comparatively changed over the years, over 50 plus years. And to tell you the truth, during the baby boom period, um, there were parents around children. They were very strict. Neighbors used to get along together. Political efficacy was pretty high also during that time period. To tell you the truth, it was a good turnout. Voter turnout was very high. People were politically involved. People were together. They used to know each other. Um, and also neighbors used to know each other also. Um, the issue was in urban society was the domestic crime, such as cities like New York City. Local crimes were the most concerning before, but before children were pretty much obedient. They were pretty much open-minded. They showed respect to their parents. They showed respect towards family. They showed respect towards their elders. Um, and also, there's a lot of authoritarian parenting, as I described in another video, where parents were used to be pretty strict. They used to do a lot of spanking back in the past, but that gives children the lesson to be well behaved and they avoid punishment. Uh, they were really focused with their education, and high school graduation was pretty high back in the days. Like it was close to 100%, like in urban societies in the United States. Um, Technology wasn't around that time. The internet wasn't around back in the 50s to the 1970s, but it was only accessible to national government officials. But people were able to be focused with their family members. They are able to be focused on other other aspects of socializing. Narcissism wasn't a problem back then. And what I mean by narcissism is self-absorbed people, self-love, like, and people didn't have this aspect of the bystander effect. If people are laying down the street being ill, there'll be someone who will do something about it and not ignore them. But today, in our 21st century, we have a huge problem in our urban society. First, terrorism is one of the main concerns. Yeah, like after 9/11, many people has suffered from post-traumatic disorder, and there was like, and also people is being treated unfairly. Capitalism exists in our urban society where the rich gets richer, the poor gets poorer. But is economic inequality where the rich people is get treated with more respect compared to the poor where they're treated with less respect. Um, Political efficacy is significantly low where people were less involved with politics. Um, there is a lot of ineffective politicians that are in office today, and they don't serve the interests of the people. And also, people mistrust the government also in our society. So, and also, socialization within our neighbors is pretty low. Also, people don't know each other anymore because the technology has taken away that advantage from people. There's some pros and cons to technology, to be honest with you. The technology in our generation has contributed to positive factors where they easily can navigate locations. They can easily help themselves study for exams in academic settings like college, high school, graduate school, doctorate education. But the to be honest with you, the technology has made people very socially isolated, and they know each other pretty much from the internet. It's like 64% of the people who use the internet, they get to know each other from the internet. But psychologically, it's used to communicate with new people, but it's not real face-to-face conversation. Our adolescents, our children, don't feel very comfortable nowadays communicating face to face as they used to back in the 60s, 70s, and the 1950s. Um, what should be done is that there should be some limits to technology in our society so then they can increase face to face involvement, also political efficacy can increase. Um, all of our society is diminishing in common sense intelligence. To be honest, common sense intelligence is very low compared to the 1950s, 60s, and 70s in the baby boom period because people use the technologies to show and portray their intelligence where they as don't show their own intelligence from their use of reading, writing, and becoming literate citizens. Um, we need to go back to old school education in old school method. Um, the education needs to be classical, where technology doesn't help a lot with the answers, where they have to navigate the answers themselves. Um, Nowadays, plagiarism in our urban society is really concerning, especially in colleges, where they don't apply their own knowledge, they use someone else's knowledge. Is very easy to cheat the system with plagiarism, and people don't apply their own knowledge. People don't use common sense. Common sense is very low, and people nowadays don't watch the news. They don't watch what's going on. They're not aware of the current events. Um, they don't work together. They are just narcissists. Narcissist people. Majority of them are narcissist people. Only small percentage of people use common sense, but rest of them who is very technology involved, they don't use common sense. They would just blurt out answers without thinking systematically, and they use their intuitive thinking. What I suggest them to do is to read more books. If they want to research, they have to research something useful, but they have to know how to use their own words when speaking, using their knowledge and expressing their thoughts that that is from their comprehension of any book, movie, or any kind of educational sources. It is it is really concerning today, and I believe that we need to improve our education system. People in our and also in our urban society, the education system they're teaching towards the test in the Common Core. Um, people Teachers are not using their own classroom materials to teach. They're just teaching according to tests, where they don't realize to teach the actual subject. Okay, when people graduate, they just know the answers to the test instead of just knowing their own knowledge. But college is different. That they teach according to the subject, but not to the test. But high school, middle school, and elementary school, they teach according to the standardized exam. But my belief is that they should get rid of standardized exam and apply their own classroom materials, and they can be college ready in this way if they help them to think critically about problems and think in a more advanced, suitable way, so they can be college and career ready. Um, Common Core exam should not be the top priority, but the top priority is college readiness, where academic learning takes place within the classrooms. Um, our our healthcare system is pretty much ineffective, where the rich poor people don't favor our healthcare policies, but I believe that the rich people should consider that when the taxation is adjusted, poor people can get free healthcare. They can have access to healthcare. There's a lot of people who are suffering, but our healthcare system has improved from the past. That's the truth in our urban society, that her healthcare has improved. But the way people make their policies about their healthcare, the mentality has gotten worse than in the past. But as I said, people are more narcissist people. They're less considerate of others. They don't have empathetic understanding what others need, especially for poor people, people who has no such understanding. Especially in the families in our urban society, fatherness is pretty low compared to the past. Fathers don't get involved with their children. That's why children are not making the right decisions. I have known people who have separated families where the child's father is not involved at all with their children. That caused them to be extremely emotionally disturbed and make very poor decisions where they lack the sense of self control and judgment when it is necessary. We need improvement in that, and that needs to factor. It doesn't really matter how, but counseling is very necessary to integrate the family together. So graduation rates, child's the retention rates was increased. Um, a child's future success will be more possible as a better opportunity when a father is around. And as I said, father can have more authority over the children, but when they're left with only separated families or single parents, that can be very difficult sometimes. But that is very important. That fatherness is pretty much important compared to people people who has two parents. And in our Western culture, there's many broken families compared to Asian cultures, and I noticed that in our urban society. So that needs improvement, and that needs a lot of effort. Like counseling is important, and there is no medical model of treatment as putting them in a hospital. It is not necessary for them to go to a hospital, take medications. They just need advice and counseling to keep themselves motivated and keep themselves together. And we need to work together as a team, as as a whole. When you're in urban society, we need to know each other so we can make better decisions as a whole. And also, especially when we elect our political candidates, we can make a decision as a whole who to select. There is, I understand there is secret voting and there is public voice voting, but in our electoral college we have secret ballot system. But together we make it as a team. If we work as a team, we can make a decision who we select. so our votes will not be biased. So these are my understandings of our society from the 20th century compared to the 21st century in the United States. Thank you.